What if the secret to younger, firmer, more radiant skin wasn't sitting in a $200 serum, but growing in a garden, a forest, or maybe even a crack in the sidewalk outside your front door? Most people have no idea that while the beauty industry is selling you processed creams with unpronounceable ingredients, nature already solved this problem thousands of years ago. Plants that trigger your body's own collagen production. Plants backed by real clinical science. Plants that have been keeping skin elastic, firm, and glowing for centuries, and got quietly forgotten the moment lab-made products became more profitable. Today, I'm going to show you 20 of them. If you want this kind of knowledge delivered straight to you every week, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's get into it. Stick around, because number 7 on this list contains a compound so powerful that dermatology researchers are using it to study wound repair and tissue regeneration at the cellular level. And number 18 was used by Cleopatra herself, and modern biochemists have now confirmed exactly why it worked. Here are 20 collagen-boosting plants for younger skin, ranked from extraordinary to absolutely life-changing. Gotu Kola, the ancient skin rebuilder. Let's start at the beginning, not just because Gotu Kola is number 1 on this list, but because in the world of collagen-boosting plants, Gotu Kola is the beginning. This small, fan-shaped herb has been used in Ayurvedic and traditional Chinese medicine for over 3,000 years. Ancient texts called it the herb of longevity. Healers used it for wound repair, burns, inflammatory skin conditions, and overall skin vitality. They didn't know why it worked. They just knew it did, and it kept working for 3 millennia. Here's what modern science says. Gotu Kola contains triterpenoids, specifically asiaticoside, madecassoside, and asiatic acid, that directly stimulate fibroblasts, the cells responsible for producing collagen in your skin. Multiple peer-reviewed clinical trials have confirmed that topical and oral Gotu Kola extracts increase collagen synthesis, improve skin hydration, reduce the appearance of stretch marks, and accelerate wound healing. A study published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology found that madecassoside significantly increased type 1 collagen production in human skin cells. Another clinical trial showed measurable improvement in skin firmness and elasticity after regular supplementation. These aren't ancient rumors. These are controlled studies with measurable outcomes. The traditional use was simple: fresh leaves eaten regularly in salads and teas. A poultice of crushed leaves applied directly to wounds, burns, and scars. In Sri Lanka, it's still served as a daily green in everyday meals. These were people building collagen through food before collagen powders existed. Gotu Kola got sidelined in Western markets because it doesn't grow in temperate climates easily and because pharmaceutical companies can't patent a plant, but the science kept coming. Today, you'll find it in premium serums, clinical-grade supplements, and wound care formulations, usually without much fanfare about where the idea originally came from. Think of it as the plant that understood skin biology before scientists had the tools to explain it. 2. Rosehip, the vitamin C powerhouse. Here's a detail most people miss. Rosehips, the small, bright red fruit left behind after a rose blooms, contain more vitamin C per gram than oranges. Not slightly more, significantly more. And vitamin C isn't just a nice bonus for skin. It is the single most essential nutrient in collagen biosynthesis. Without vitamin C, your body literally cannot make collagen. This is biochemical fact. Rosa canina and related wild rose species were used throughout Europe and Asia for centuries for wound healing, skin repair, and general vitality. Sailors were given rosehip preparations to prevent scurvy, which is, at its core, a disease of collagen breakdown. Their gums bled, their joints ached, and their skin fell apart because without vitamin C, collagen disintegrates. Rosehips were the fix. Modern clinical research has gone further. Rosehip seed oil is rich in trans-retinoic acid, a natural form of retinol, which promotes cell turnover and collagen production. Clinical trials showed that rosehip powder supplementation significantly reduced wrinkles, improved skin moisture, and increased elasticity after 8 weeks of use. The oil is now widely used in natural skincare for scar reduction, hyperpigmentation, and fine lines. Rosehips got forgotten when synthetic vitamin C became cheap and widely available. Why bother with the whole fruit when you can take a tablet? But the whole fruit doesn't just deliver vitamin C. It delivers it alongside bioflavonoids, carotenoids, and fatty acids that work together the way the body was designed to receive them. The extracted compound is a simplification. The whole fruit is the original formula. Think of it as the fruit that blooms after the beauty fades and turns out to be more valuable than the flower ever was. 3. Horsetail. The silica plant science is finally catching up to. Horsetail is one of the oldest plants on Earth. It predates dinosaurs. It grows in ditches, along streams, and in disturbed soil across almost every continent. And for centuries, traditional herbalists used it for one specific purpose: strengthening the structures of the body: hair, nails, teeth, connective tissue, and skin. Equisetum arvens contains the highest concentration of organic silica of almost any plant. Silica is a critical cofactor in collagen synthesis. It supports the cross-linking of collagen fibers, the process that makes skin firm and resilient rather than loose and fragile. Silica levels in human tissue decline significantly with age, and the connection between falling silica and declining skin quality is an active area of dermatological research. Studies on orthosilicic acid, the bioavailable form of silica in horsetail, show that supplementation improves skin elasticity, reduces brittleness in hair and nails, and supports the connective tissue matrix that keeps skin looking full and structured. A clinical trial published in the Archives of Dermatological Research found significant improvements in skin roughness after supplementation with choline-stabilized orthosilicic acid derived from horsetail. Herbalists across Europe, Asia, and the Americas all arrived at the same conclusions independently. That's not coincidence. That's observation over centuries. Horsetail got dismissed partly because it looks like a prehistoric weed, which it is, and partly because silica wasn't on the radar of mainstream nutrition. But connective tissue researchers know exactly how important it is. Think of it as the living fossil that's been quietly supporting human skin since before we were human. 4. Amla, the Indian gooseberry that outperforms synthetics. Amla, or Indian gooseberry, is the cornerstone of Ayurvedic skin medicine. Phyllanthus emblica contains one of the highest concentrations of vitamin C found in any food, but that's almost secondary to what else it contains. Amla is rich in tannins, polyphenols, and emblicanins, antioxidants that protect vitamin C from oxidation, meaning it stays active and bioavailable far longer than the ascorbic acid in most supplements. The whole fruit outperforms the extracted compound, nature's formulation, again, beating the simplified version. Clinical studies on amla extract show it stimulates collagen synthesis in fibroblasts, reduces oxidative stress in skin cells, inhibits matrix metalloproteinases, the enzymes that degrade collagen as we age, and improves skin elasticity. It also inhibits melanin overproduction, which is why it's a traditional remedy for hyperpigmentation, dark spots, and uneven skin tone. Chyawanprash, one of Ayurveda's most famous preparations, is built on an amla base and has been used for thousands of years to support skin vitality and tissue health. Researchers who started looking at amla found it works through multiple pathways simultaneously. It's not a one-trick vitamin, it's a full system. Think of it as the berry that turned Ayurvedic tradition into a lesson in biochemistry that modern science is still catching up to. 5. Bamboo, the fastest silica source on Earth. Bamboo is the fastest growing plant on the planet. Some species grow nearly 3 feet in a single day. And the same biological machinery that makes bamboo structurally extraordinary also makes it nutritionally remarkable for human connective tissue. Bamboo shoots and extract, particularly from the inner nodes, contain silica concentrations that rival and often exceed horsetail. The silica in bamboo is highly bioavailable and has been used in traditional Chinese and Ayurvedic medicine for skin, hair, and joint support for centuries. Modern research confirms bamboo silica promotes collagen and elastin production, supports the integrity of the extracellular matrix, and reduces oxidative damage to skin cells. In Western markets, bamboo was seen as an ornamental plant, a building material, a panda food, not medicine. But traditional Asian communities built daily mineral nutrition around bamboo shoots, bamboo leaf tea, and bamboo node extracts, and their skin and joint health reflected that for generations. The silica gap in modern diets is real, and bamboo is one of the most accessible ways to close it. Think of it as the plant that grows so fast it barely needs time, and yet it's been quietly building stronger, younger-looking tissue for centuries. 6. Calendula, the wound healer that rebuilds skin. Medieval healers called calendula the war flower. Soldiers carried it onto battlefields because when there was no surgeon and no medicine, calendula could keep a wound clean and help it heal without scarring. That reputation held for centuries, and modern research has proven exactly why it was earned. Calendula officinalis contains triterpenoids and flavonoids with confirmed anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and tissue-regenerating effects. Multiple clinical trials show calendula preparations speed wound healing, reduce scar formation, and improve skin repair after burns and surgical incisions. A randomized controlled trial found calendula ointment significantly outperformed petroleum jelly for post-surgical skin repair. The flavonoids in calendula protect existing collagen from degradation by neutralizing free radicals. The triterpenoids stimulate fibroblast proliferation, directly encouraging collagen-producing cells to multiply and stay active. This is why calendula belongs in anti-aging skincare. It's not just soothing, it's structurally active. Calendula got forgotten in mainstream medicine not because it stopped working, but because pharmaceutical wound care became the default. The science never stopped confirming what those battlefield healers already knew. Think of it as the emergency room in your garden, open for business, waiting for you to remember it exists. 7. Comfrey, the tissue knitter. This is the one dermatology researchers are paying serious attention to. Comfrey, Symphytum officinale. Folk medicine called it knit bone because applied to sprains, bruises, and wounds, it seemed to tell the body to repair itself faster than it otherwise would. The mechanism is now understood. Comfrey root contains allantoin, a compound that promotes cell proliferation by stimulating DNA synthesis in fibroblasts. More fibroblasts means more collagen production. It also contains rosmarinic acid, a potent anti-inflammatory that reduces the signals that break down collagen over time, and it contains choline, which supports the cell membrane integrity of skin cells. Multiple peer-reviewed clinical trials have confirmed that topical comfrey root extract significantly accelerates tissue repair in bruises, sprains, abrasions, and damaged skin. Studies show measurable increases in skin hydration, elasticity, and surface texture. Wound healing research specifically notes its ability to reduce scar formation by promoting orderly collagen deposition rather than the disorganized scar tissue that forms without support. Important note, comfrey is for external use only. The root contains pyrrolizidine alkaloids not safe for internal consumption, but used topically as a salve, cream, or poultice, it is remarkably safe and effective, exactly as traditional practice intended. Think of it as the plant that looks at damaged tissue and says, "Let me fix that." 8. Green tea, the antioxidant shield. Green tea is one of the most rigorously studied plants in nutritional science. Camellia sinensis leaves retain extraordinarily high concentrations of catechins, particularly EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate. EGCG is one of the most potent antioxidants ever studied, and for skin, its most important function is this. It neutralizes the reactive oxygen species that activate matrix metalloproteinases, the enzymes that degrade collagen. In simple terms, EGCG protects your collagen from being destroyed. Clinical studies show regular green tea consumption reduces UV-induced collagen breakdown, improves skin elasticity and hydration, and decreases inflammatory markers that accelerate aging. EGCG also inhibits collagenase specifically, the enzyme that breaks down collagen fibers. Most anti-aging strategies focus on producing more collagen. Green tea adds a second layer, protecting what you've already got. Traditional use in East Asian cultures was simply daily tea consumption, multiple cups throughout the day as a normal part of life. The populations with the longest consistent green tea traditions have been the subject of some of the most striking longevity and skin aging research in the world. Think of it as the invisible shield that keeps your collagen intact long after it would otherwise start to break down. Now, if you're finding this valuable, hit that like button right now. It helps this video reach people who are tired of expensive skincare that doesn't deliver and are ready to go back to what actually works. And if you haven't subscribed to Homestead Roots yet, click that subscribe button and ring the bell. Let's keep going because we're just getting to the really remarkable ones. 9. Stinging nettle, the mineral mine for skin. Stinging nettle has a reputation problem. It stings. It looks like a weed. Nobody wants to walk through a patch of it. And so most people have spent their entire lives brushing past one of the most mineral-dense, collagen-supportive plants available in temperate climates. Urtica dioica is extraordinarily rich in silica, iron, magnesium, calcium, vitamin C, and vitamin K. An almost complete mineral profile for collagen synthesis and skin health. Iron supports the hydroxylation of proline, a key step in building stable collagen fibers. Nettle delivers all of these simultaneously in bioavailable form. Studies show nettle extract reduces the chronic low-grade inflammation, often called inflammaging, which is one of the primary drivers of skin aging. Less inflammation means less collagen degradation and better microcirculation in skin tissue, which supports the delivery of nutrients to fibroblasts where they can actually be used. The sting disappears completely with heat, drying, or blending. Blanch the leaves for 30 seconds, and they're as benign as spinach, with significantly more mineral density. The communities that respected nettle and built it into their diets were building mineral foundations for skin health that most people today are chronically missing. Think of it as the plant that demands a little respect and rewards you for giving it. 10. Hibiscus, the Botox plant. Hibiscus has been called the Botox plant. That's a bold claim, but when you look at the science, the people who gave it that name weren't being dramatic. Hibiscus sabdorifa contains gossypetin and other anthocyanins that inhibit the activity of elastase, the enzyme that degrades elastin, the protein that keeps skin springy and snaps back into place. Elastin and collagen work together. When elastin degrades, skin loses its bounce, and the infrastructure holding collagen in three-dimensional structure collapses with it. A study in food and chemical toxicology found hibiscus extract significantly inhibited both elastase and collagenase, protecting elastin and collagen simultaneously. A randomized clinical trial showed measurable improvement in skin firmness and elasticity after 8 weeks of supplementation. Hibiscus is also extraordinarily rich in vitamin C, meaning it's working from both directions, boosting collagen production and slowing its breakdown at the same time. Traditional use was hibiscus tea as a daily beverage across North Africa, the Caribbean, and Central America. The deeper biology behind it didn't get attention until researchers started mapping elastin-degrading enzymes and looking for natural inhibitors. Think of it as the flower that's been protecting people's skin from the inside out, long before anyone understood the mechanism. 11. Turmeric, the golden anti-inflammatory. Turmeric is everywhere now. Golden milk, supplements, skincare lines. But most people using it don't fully understand what it's doing for collagen, or why the traditional way of consuming it was more effective than most modern preparations. Curcuma longa contains curcumin, a polyphenol with extensively studied anti-inflammatory effects. For collagen specifically, curcumin suppresses NF-κB, the transcription factor that drives chronic inflammatory responses that directly accelerate collagen degradation. It inhibits matrix metalloproteinases and directly stimulates fibroblast activity to increase collagen synthesis rates. Clinical trials show curcumin supplementation improves skin elasticity, reduces wrinkle depth, and lowers systemic inflammatory markers. Topical curcumin has been used successfully in wound healing trials with faster tissue repair and improved scar quality. Here's where traditional wisdom beats modern formulations. Curcumin alone has very low bioavailability. Traditional preparations always combine turmeric with black pepper, which contains piperine, increasing absorption by up to 0%. They also used it with fat, because curcumin is fat-soluble. Traditional golden milk, turmeric, black pepper, warm whole milk. That wasn't culinary preference. That was optimized bioavailability, figured out over generations. Think of it as the golden route that was always right. People just started using it wrong. 12. Plantain weed, the trailside skin healer. Not the banana-like fruit, the low-growing weed in your lawn. Plantigo major is one of the most quietly powerful skin-healing plants growing wild in almost every country on Earth, and almost nobody knows it. Plantain contains aucubin, an iridoid glycoside with confirmed anti-inflammatory and tissue-regenerating effects, alongside allantoin, the same compound found in comfrey, and flavonoids that inhibit collagen-degrading enzymes. A clinical trial found plantain ointment improved healing in second-degree burns, better than standard pharmaceutical treatment. That's a controlled clinical result, not folklore. Traditional use was immediate and direct. A fresh leaf, crushed or briefly chewed, applied to a cut, sting, or irritated skin. Within minutes, inflammation reduced. It was the universal trailside first aid kit, available everywhere, free and reliably effective. For daily skin health, dried plantain leaf tea applied as a toner supports a calm environment where collagen can be synthesized and preserved rather than constantly broken down. We've been trained to think medicine should be rare and expensive. The biochemistry doesn't care about price tags. Think of it as the first aid kit that literally follows you wherever you go, waiting quietly at your feet. 13. Ashwagandha, the stress skin saver. Ashwagandha doesn't directly synthesize collagen. It attacks one of the biggest hidden drivers of collagen breakdown: chronic stress. Cortisol, the hormone the body releases under chronic stress, directly inhibits fibroblast activity and accelerates collagen degradation. People who live under chronic stress age faster. Their skin loses elasticity sooner. This is measurable in tissue samples, not speculation. Withania somnifera is an adaptogen that reduces the cortisol response to chronic stress. Multiple randomized controlled trials have shown significant cortisol reductions with consistent supplementation. One placebo-controlled trial showed a 27% reduction after 60 days. Better sleep, also supported by ashwagandha, means more growth hormone, which drives collagen repair overnight. The skin heals while you sleep, and ashwagandha protects that process. Ashwagandha also contains withanolides, anti-inflammatory compounds that reduce systemic inflammation, a second pathway to preserving collagen long-term. Traditional Ayurvedic use was ashwagandha root in warm milk before sleep, specifically timed to work during the body's primary repair window. That timing wasn't coincidence. Think of it as the root that doesn't just calm your nerves, it protects the collagen that stress is silently destroying. 14. Licorice root, the brightener and collagen protector. Licorice root is one of the most prescribed herbs in traditional Chinese medicine. Glycyrrhiza glabra contains glabridin with two critical effects for skin health. First, it inhibits tyrosinase, the enzyme responsible for melanin production, making it one of the most effective natural treatments for hyperpigmentation, dark spots, and uneven skin tone. Second, it inhibits cyclooxygenase 2, a key inflammatory enzyme, reducing the chronic inflammatory signals that destroy collagen. Clinical studies on glabridin show meaningful improvements in pigmentation and anti-inflammatory effects in the skin's upper layers. Licorice root also contains lecochalcone A, which specifically reduces oxidative stress in skin cells and neutralizes the reactive oxygen species that accelerate collagen breakdown after UV exposure. Dermatology researchers, looking for natural alternatives to hydroquinone, found glabridin, and suddenly licorice appeared in high-end serums, usually without credit to the thousands of years of traditional use that pointed them there. The discovery wasn't new. The credit was just overdue. Think of it as the root that's been brightening skin and protecting collagen for millennia, while Western beauty science was just getting started. 15. Aloe Vera, the clear gel with deep collagen biology. Everyone knows aloe vera soothes sunburn, but that's the surface story. What aloe actually does inside skin tissue is far more significant, and most people using it have no idea. Aloe barbadensis contains acemannan, a polysaccharide that stimulates fibroblast proliferation and collagen synthesis, and sterols that specifically activate collagen gene expression at the cellular level. Multiple clinical studies confirm aloe vera gel used both topically and internally increases type I and type 3 collagen production, improves skin elasticity, and reduces the appearance of wrinkles. A double-blind clinical trial published in the Annals of Dermatology found that aloe vera supplementation increased procollagen-1 production and reduced matrix metalloproteinase 1 activity, the primary enzyme that degrades facial skin collagen. That's a controlled clinical result with biochemical measurements, not a skincare claim. Aloe got commodified into watered-down gels that are mostly carbomer with a tiny percentage of actual aloe. The label says aloe, the biology says otherwise. Freshly cut aloe leaf, the actual gel applied directly to skin, is biologically active in a way most commercial products simply aren't. If you have a plant on your windowsill, use it. Think of it as the plant that's been in plain sight this whole time, doing more for skin than most people ever gave it credit for. 16. Pomegranate, the antioxidant that regenerates skin cells. Punica granatum contains punicollagens, compounds found almost nowhere else in nature, that break down in the gut into urolithins with documented anti-inflammatory and cellular protective effects. It also contains punicic acid, an omega-5 fatty acid that supports epidermal cell regeneration and deep skin hydration. For collagen specifically, pomegranate's remarkable polyphenol concentration neutralizes the reactive oxygen species that trigger metalloproteinase activity. the collagen destruction cascade. One study found pomegranate ferment filtrate increased collagen biosynthesis by over 30% in laboratory testing. Its antioxidant activity, measured by ORAC value, consistently outranks red wine, green tea, and blueberries. The whole fruit, not an extract, not a supplement, provides the full spectrum of compounds in the ratios the body evolved to receive them. Extracting those jewel-like seeds takes patience, but this fruit rewards the effort with something the skin genuinely feels over time. Traditional cultures that made it a regular part of the diet weren't just eating for flavor. They were feeding their connective tissue. Think of it as the ancient beauty food that temple architects built into sacred architecture, and skin researchers are still uncovering new reasons why. 17. Yarrow, the circulation booster for radiant skin. Healthy skin circulation is foundational to collagen health in a way most people never consider. Fibroblasts need oxygen and nutrients to synthesize collagen. Poor microcirculation means nutrient-starved skin cells producing less collagen, regardless of how many supplements you take. Achillea millefolium, named after Achilles, who was said to have used it to treat soldiers' wounds, contains achillin, flavonoids, and sesquiterpene lactones, with anti-inflammatory and circulatory effects. Studies show yarrow extract supports vascular tone and has antioxidant effects that protect skin cell membranes. Traditional use was both internal and topical. Yarrow tea for circulation support, yarrow poultice applied directly to wounds and inflamed skin. The traditional name in folk medicine was soldier's woundwort because it both halts damage and initiates repair. For aging skin, that dual action translates into a plant that calms inflammatory degradation while actively supporting the environment. Fibroblasts need to work. It grows wild across meadows and roadsides in almost every temperate climate. Abundant, free, and still doing exactly what it always has. Think of it as the herb trusted enough to carry into battle, because it was reliable enough to matter when things were truly serious. 18. Saffron, Cleopatra's secret, confirmed by science. Here's the one I teased at the beginning. Cleopatra was said to bathe in saffron-infused milk to maintain her legendary skin. For centuries, this was filed away as royal luxury folklore. Then biochemists started analyzing saffron and found a precise biochemical rationale behind everything she was doing. Crocus sativus contains crocin and crocitin, carotenoids, with remarkable antioxidant and skin protective properties. Crocin has been shown to protect skin cells from UV-induced damage, inhibit melanin overproduction, and reduce oxidative stress in fibroblasts, the cells that build collagen. Saffronol has anti-inflammatory effects that reduce the chronic skin inflammation, driving premature aging. Clinical studies confirm saffron extract improves skin tone, reduces hyperpigmentation, and supports a luminous complexion. Saffron is expensive. It always has been. The stigmas are hand-harvested, and it takes 75,000 flowers to make 1 pound of spice, but the therapeutic dose for skin benefits is modest. A few threads in warm milk applied to the face twice a week is accessible, traditional, and now scientifically supported. Think of it as the spice Cleopatra understood before biochemistry existed to explain it, and modern science eventually caught up to confirm she was right. 19. Schisandra berry, the 5-flavor skin tonic. Schisandra chinensis has 5 distinct flavors: sweet, sour, bitter, pungent, and salty, which is why traditional Chinese medicine calls it Wu Wei Zi, the 5-flavor fruit. That biochemical complexity is exactly what makes it special for skin. Schisandra contains schisandrins and gomacins, lignans with potent antioxidant, adaptogenic, and anti-inflammatory effects. For collagen, its most important actions are its liver protective and cortisol-regulating properties. Here's the connection most people miss. The liver processes the metabolites that drive systemic inflammation. A stressed liver means elevated inflammatory markers that degrade collagen. Schisandra protects liver function, reducing the inflammatory load on skin at its metabolic source. Clinical research shows Schisandra reduces oxidative stress in skin cells, improves skin hydration and barrier function, and has adaptogenic effects that lower cortisol, connecting it to the same collagen preservation pathway as ashwagandha. Traditional Chinese medicine prescribed it specifically for beautifying effects on skin, as well as for energy and liver health. The effects build over months, producing gradual and lasting improvements in overall skin quality. Think of it as the berry that works from the inside out, fixing the deeper metabolic conditions that make skin aging feel inevitable, rather than just treating what you see on the surface. 20. Helichrysum, the immortal flower that rebuilds skin. And here we are at number 20, the one I saved for last because it may be the most extraordinary story on this list. Helichrysum, immortelle, the immortal flower. It's called that because when you cut the blooms, they don't wilt. They hold their color and structure for months, even years, without water. Italian, Mediterranean, and North African traditional medicine built an entire category of skin healing around this plant. And when researchers finally analyzed what makes it biologically active, they found something remarkable. Helichrysum italicum contains italidones, dicotones found almost exclusively in this species, alongside neryl acetate, alpha-pinene, and a complex of flavonoids including naringenin. The italidones have a specific documented action. They reduce hematomas, speed the resorption of bruises, and stimulate cellular regeneration in damaged tissue. Neryl acetate has documented anti-inflammatory properties. The flavonoids inhibit collagenase, protecting existing collagen fibers from enzymatic breakdown. Clinical studies show Helichrysum accelerates wound healing, reduces scar formation, supports skin cell regeneration, and provides potent antioxidant protection against UV and environmental damage. But here's what makes it the perfect ending to this list. The plant is called immortal because it doesn't die easily. Its own biology is oriented towards structural persistence and resilience, and the compounds it makes to protect itself turn out to be precisely the compounds that protect human collagen from the same forces of degradation. Traditional use: Helichrysum-infused oil applied directly to the skin for bruises, scars, aging skin, and inflammatory conditions. The essential oil diluted in a carrier oil as a daily facial serum. The dried flowers steeped in oil for months to draw out the full medicinal concentration. Think of it as the immortal plant that decided the secret to lasting beauty was never dying, and then offered that secret, in biological form, to the skin that tends it. 20 plants. Thousands of years of accumulated observation, and in every single case, without exception, modern science arrived at the same destination. Traditional medicine had been standing it all along. The people who figured this out weren't primitive. They were observant. They paid attention to what healed them, what kept their skin resilient, what made them age gracefully in conditions far harsher than the ones we live in. And they built their medicine, their agriculture, and their daily rituals around those observations. Not because they had labs, because they had time, and they paid attention to the results. Collagen isn't a supplement category invented by the wellness industry. It's the biological infrastructure of your skin, and the plants that protect and support it have been here, waiting, the whole time. Every culture on Earth independently discovered at least some of them. That convergence isn't coincidence. It's biology working the same way across continents and centuries. Before I let you go, one thing matters enormously with every plant on this list: quality. There is a real difference between a whole plant preparation harvested and processed carefully and a low-potency extract sitting in a cheap supplement. The active compounds in these plants are sensitive. Processing matters, freshness matters, source matters. The same difference exists between fresh aloe gel and a bottle of green-tinted water, between a high polyphenol rosehip powder and a product that sat in a warehouse for 2 years losing potency, between real turmeric with piperine and a capsule that doesn't absorb. I've done the research on the specific sources and forms I trust most for each of these. You'll find those linked in the description below. Drop a comment and tell me which plant surprised you most. Are you team adaptogenic herbs, team polyphenol powerhouses, team silica plants? I want to know. I read every single comment. If you haven't subscribed to Evergreen Garden yet, hit that button now and ring the bell. We post every week and we are just getting started. See you in the next one.